Hello and welcome to a quick overview of using Matific for teaching, particularly directed at international schools in Asia. And as such, you can see that I'm in Asia. I happen to be in Hong Kong, and as such my page is defaulted to Hong Kong using the traditional Chinese character script. Not something I'm familiar with, so if this happens to you, it's a very simple process. You click on the flag, do a drop down, and just choose any English language country. You don't have to choose the curriculum you're involved in. Anyone will do, because you're already defaulted to the right profile, or the right curriculum in your profile. We can talk about that a little bit later on. I'm just going to click on the sign in button. And as you can see here, if I've registered with Google or with Office 365, I can use those single sign-on features here if those email addresses support that, if they're part of that. But I'm using LastPass, so I'll just drag up my email address here, log in, and basically I'll go into the teacher side of the account. It defaults to class management when I go in there, which is managing classes, setting up new classes. At the moment, Matific doesn't support groups within classes, but it does allow you to divide your class into multiple classes. Adding a class is very, very easy. It's just a matter of going in and clicking on the Add Class button and then moving the students between classes. Very, very simple process. Let's not get involved there. I'm going to drop over to content, which is the important starting point for you. So basically, Matific defaults by putting all of the curriculum work out for the students to do. So for example, my students are in year 5 and I have them on the curriculum of the UK national curriculum. So my class here, if I go to this Rockstars class for example, you can see that I've set them various work, but had I not set them work, there would have been what we call bonus work that was assigned, and that would have been all of the year 5 UK national curriculum would have been assigned to those students to do. You can turn that off, but realize that if you don't set work for students, they still have access to an enormous amount of work. Okay, let's just look at some of the work we have set for students. It's a two-part process. What we do is we can search for that work by searching under either Matific program, the curriculum, in this case again, the national curriculum of the United Kingdom. I can search under a textbook if I have a textbook mapped as the textbook I use for my course, and I can just do a search right across all of the activities. Let's go down and choose the curriculum. And in this case it's year 5. Let's go searching for something in, for example, I don't know, let's go fractions. And what we'll find is a range of different activities under the different topics or the subdomains that are available in the UK national curriculum. So I can go in there, we've got some around 7 steps, 110%, beads and fractions, etc, etc. Now assigning those activities is very, very easy. It's just a matter of going, okay, I'll go in there, the beads and fractions, model percentages, level 1. If I want to add that one, I add it. It is now appearing on the island, and we'll come back to the island in a minute, but there it is there. I've assigned it, but what I've done there is added to the list of topics that potentially my students could do. So there are 16 potential activities there, but what I have to do is when I'm ready I can assign them to the students. So it's a matter of clicking that button and actually assigning them. In the same way I can unassign them very easily. So that now enables me to plan my work, put my activities for a topic onto the island or onto my screen, and then I can basically assign them or unassign them as the case comes. And you'll see here as well that I get a bit of a breakdown of my students who's completed the work I've assigned them, and if I click on there I get a bit of a breakdown of exactly who those students are. So quite a lot of information on this page, which is the content page. Now I've been talking about the island, so I'm going to drop over here to the student view of things just so you see what I'm talking about there. Here we have a model student, and basically this is the assigned work. This is their schoolwork, as you can see on the island. So we have about 12 or 16 activities available for the students, and all activities work in pretty much the same way. What they are is they're guided, what we call an episode. A good example is the Save the Ball episode, where students are led through some solutions around adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. So what we've got to do is, we're being guided here. We have a ball starting at 0, we have to get it to -10, and we've already got a 10 going back in the left direction there, and it's indicating that I've got to click on the glass ball, which I do, and we have it in the right place. I get some feedback, some stars, I drop onto the next activity. Okay, we have to go to -7. Now we can see here that we don't have the number -7 there. We're not going backwards to the left in the 7 position, but we do have a 2 and a 5. So I can put those in any order. It can either be 2, 5, or we can go 5 and 2, which I'll do here. Click on the glass ball. Away we go. Now the way in which Matific gives feedback to its students is that if a student attempts an activity and doesn't get it right, let's say for example we just put anything in random here and drop that back, it will enable us to get it wrong 3 times before guiding us through a solution. Let's try again. Put that one over there, maybe that one there, and put that one there. Go. Okay, 3 times. So now what it's going to do is it's going to guide me through the solution, and it gives one of obviously many ways that I could have gone there. Okay, that's a bit of an overview of what we call the episodes in Matific. You get the idea. As you can see, it's getting harder now. We're going from -15 to -26, and we have a range of various different number or steps that we can use to get the ball back there. So quite challenging, guided, got all those characteristics we're after. Okay, I'm just going to get out of that one there. We'll go back onto the island again so that you can see what's going on. As we said, we've got an island. The order that we've got these set up in is the order of the subtopics that are put together on the activity sheet. That was the one that we were looking at before. You can lock that order. You can basically say to a student, I do not want you to go on and just choose these ones up here. Some of these may be worksheets, more of a worksheet sort of a setup like this one here. And obviously this may not be as exciting as some of the other things, but you may want the students to do some review on that so that you're testing how they're going. Now if that's the case, rather than allowing them to skip that, you can actually lock the order, which means they cannot get to the higher level activities, which they might find quite motivating, before they actually do some of the worksheets that you've assigned for them. And again, I'll show you where to do that in a moment. So as I said to you before, this is the assigned activities, the work that you are setting for the students, but had you not set any work for the students could have clicked on the bonus missions. Now again, this is something that you can lock out students if you want to, but if you click on the bonus missions, you'll effectively see all of the episode activities available right throughout the year that the students can dig into. So this happens to be the Year 5 UK National Curriculum activities. We've put the whole lot on there so that they can work their way through. There's an enormous amount of content the students can engage with and basically really get themselves some understanding without you having to intervene. Okay, so that was the student's point of view. Let's go back again to the teacher point of view. So we've talked about assigning activities. I'm just going to drop quickly into the class management and address those issues I spoke about before, because we've got a button that says class settings. You can see here that we can lock episode order. So if I click on there, if you lock the episode order, so for example this is my class here, if I do that, I've now locked the episode order, the order that appears in, so the students can't jump ahead to activities, they must do the one that I've set them. And this is the show more. This is how you end up exposing them to the bonus islands or the bonus missions, or locking them out as the case may be. So that's what we were talking about before. Okay, so we've gone through assigning tasks. Students are working their way through those tasks and assigning as they go through and engaging with these activities on their school missions. Okay, when that's being done, of course you're interested in the information about what they've been doing and how they've been progressing. Now under content again, what I was saying to you is you do have an indication of which students have assigned it since you have completed the assignment, since you've set it, so you can set on any of this and get a rough indication, but of course we have more detailed reports in here. And this area allows you to discover a lot more about what's happening, because we have a breakdown. For example, one of the first things you might want to do is go to the snapshot report. This is a great way of just seeing the progress of your class, how they've been going. You can assign the date. This happens to be defaulted to the last week, so I can have a look who has done what in the last week. But what I can do is choose to go back a little further than that. Let's just go back to, say for example, the beginning of 2018 and go back to where we are now, which happens to be the middle of March. So Monday the 19th. We should get a little bit more data about how our students are going. And as you can see, this is a breakdown across the class. So we're looking at class level here. I can click on and see that 35% of the activities encountered have been excellent, so I can look at those ones. I can look at the ones that students have been doing okay, or even the ones that they've been weak in, and I get a breakdown as to who's done what and how they're going, progressing around those ones there. So that can be quite useful for me. That was under the snapshot report. But what I can also do is I can get a breakdown under the curriculum activities. So if I am doing topic by topic, like for example, I happen to be doing something at the moment on the whole number area, then what I can do is have a look at the averages as to how my students have been progressing around that particular outcome and how they've been engaging with the tasks. So I get quite a good breakdown and quite a good indication there. So I can look at the recent score, I can look at the best score of the first score, I can look at spread statistics where I look at a nice whisker plot there, so I can see how things are going, and I can really break it down by student as well if I want to. So quite detailed reports. Basically, if we go down here and we break it down, we can look at individual students and how they've been progressing around some of those activities. It's a matter of just going by student as we go around there. Okay. Look, that's I think all I want to say at this stage. Happy to just finish it there, and we can progress to a little bit further later on. Okay, thanks for listening, and good luck with Matific. Don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any problems or any concerns and you want to